I was standing in line to board my flight when the man behind me asked, "Where are you sitting on the flight?" I was in LAX flying alone to Ireland, trying to download songs on Spotify while boarding my flight when I locked eyes with the man behind me. He had an adorable son who looked around 4 years old, and the man had these kind eyes that made me think he was unthreatening. I responded, "I'm sitting in 13A. What about you?" He smiled and didn't respond, so I just shrugged it off and forgot about him until I got on the flight. We had just taken off when the man and his son sat in the empty seats beside me. I was immediately weirded out because I swear I saw him sit at the back of the plane earlier. He immediately explained, "Oh, I hope you don't mind us sitting there. It's just that there was a crying baby back where we were sitting and I was getting overstimulated." I would have understood, except there were no crying babies on our flight. Before I could respond, he reached down and slowly peeled off his socks while maintaining eye contact with me. When his left and right sock was fully off and his dogs were out, he smirked like he thought this was Riz. I glanced at the son, expecting him to be embarrassed or confused, but the kid was grinning ear to ear, giggling like his dad had just told the funniest joke in the world. Any sane person in that situation would have gotten up and complained to the flight attendants instantly, and I was going to. But part of me also wanted to see what he would do next. Plus, I was on the window seat, and the man and his son were on the edge, so it's not like I could just run away. I was staring down at my phone trying to turn up the volume of my song All Too Well by Taylor Swift when the man made his next move. In complete silence, he reached into his bag and pulled out a single green grape. He then held it toward my mouth and whispered, "You look hungry." I shook my head no and leaned as far away as my seat would let me. Pop. He popped the grape in his own mouth and chewed it slowly while staring directly into my eyes. Suddenly, the son started clapping and cheering, like his dad had just performed a magic trick. Enough was enough. I pressed the call button immediately. A flight attendant walked over and I tried to be polite. "Hey, is there any chance I could move seat?" I asked, gesturing with my eyes to the man beside me, hoping the flight attendant would take the hint. Spoiler alert, she did not take the hint. Instead, she glanced at the dad like they knew each other and said, "I'm sorry, miss, we're completely full. You'll have to stay in your assigned seat." Then something extremely strange happened. She locked eyes with the man and gave him a small smile, like she knew what was going on. Like, what in the bomboclat? So I decided to go for a different approach. Throw my dignity out the window. I immediately stood up and announced, "I need to pee. I'm going to the bathroom." I made my way to the bathroom, desperate to find another flight attendant and beg them to help me. That's when a different attendant stopped me. "Miss, the captain has requested all passengers remain seated for now." I looked around. The seatbelt sign was off. Other people were walking freely. The flight attendant then leaned in and whispered, "Just give the man a few more minutes. Trust me." Trust her? Trust her about what? I walked back to my seat with my heart pounding out of my chest. Something was very wrong, and everyone seemed to be in on it except me. When I sat back down, the man leaned in close. He looked me dead in the eyes and said with complete sincerity, "Do you believe in fate? Because I think this flight was meant to be." His delivery was rehearsed, like he was reading from a script. The son gave a big thumbs up, then unbuckled his seatbelt and headed toward the bathroom. That's when everything made sense. Because as soon as his son left, the man looked at me with tired, sad eyes and said, "I am so sorry. Please let me explain." I just stared at him. He took a deep breath and said, "My wife died in a car crash 6 months ago. Before she died, we used to play this game with our son on long flights. My wife would pick a stranger on a flight and pretend to riz them up the same way I just did with you, and my son thought it was the funniest thing ever. So once a month, me and my son take a random flight and I do the same riz thing my wife used to do. It's the only thing that makes him happy. I know I should have asked you first. I just saw you in line and you seemed kind." I laughed and told the man he was cute. That was 10 years ago. Last week, me and the man got married in Ireland.